We're pleased to welcome now Jay McDaniel, Executive Director of the Mississippi Gaming Commission. Hey, Jay, good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Gerard.
All right, so what's the latest there within the gaming industry in the state of Mississippi? I mean, I'm checking out the revenues. It seems to be fairly stable at this point.
I think stable is a good word to describe it. We latest numbers through the end of August were actually very promising. The first 6 months were trending kind of like we have the last few years. We're down a little bit, 2 to 3%, but August, a very good August across all three of our regions, the Lower River, Upper River, and of course the Gulf Coast. So we're down about 1.5% from last year.
Okay.
But you know, that's kind of that's just kind of been the economy. That's what we've seen the last couple of years, 2 to 3% down. But a good August, promising that maybe we'll have a turn here the second half of the year.
Anything noteworthy that's come before or scheduled to come before the Gaming Commission?
Nothing that has come before, and as far as scheduled to come before, nothing that I don't have a crystal ball, but you know, hopeful that maybe we'll get some projects. You know, we have a lot of interest. You get a lot of I get a lot of calls. People are very interested in our market. It's still a very healthy gaming market with our 26 casinos, not counting the Mississippi Band of Choctaw, their casinos. You know, we do very well. So a lot of interest. It's just usually about, can those developers raise the equity and borrow what they need to. And you were discussing, you know, the rates. You know, maybe with some reduction in cost of borrowing, we'll see something. But right now, it's just kind of business as usual, to be honest.
Yeah. Talk about the Gaming Commission, because this is something that much of our audience may not be familiar with, the structure of that.
Sure. Yeah, we have 3 commissioners, all 3 appointed by the governor. They're staggered 4-year terms. It is a non-compensated position, so all 3 of them. We have 3 really good commissioners. Historically, we've always had good commissioners. Yeah. Typically, the governor will appoint businessmen, business-friendly, know about the importance of economic development and regulation, only to a point that benefits our state and the business together. So our commissioners, they're appointed to those 4-year terms, and then they appoint me. I answer to them.
Yeah.
So I do the day-to-day, and they come in once a month. We actually had our meeting this morning and handle things like licensing issues. You know, sometimes they have to sit almost as a court in hearings and things like that. But at the end of the day, that's it. That's how it's run.
Gotcha. Frank Lee serving as chair right now, right?
He is our chairman. That's right.
Rankin County resident. Yeah.
That's right.
Tower Loan, his company. So I think he's incredibly appropriate and a great selection by the governor. In that respect, no nonsense business person.
That's right. He's done a good job, and again, he does it, you know, basically for our benefit. He doesn't get anything out of it. So that I think all 3 commissioners really, it's a lot of work for
no doubt
for what they get out of it.
No doubt, and it's non-compensated.
That's correct.
Yep. Yeah. So also want to point out, because this comes up a lot. You're well aware that I am honored to serve on the board of the Mississippi Lottery Corporation.
Right.
And a lot of folks conflate the two. I'm sure you run into that all the time, and don't realize that the Gaming Commission and the Lottery Corporation are 2 totally separate entities with completely different structures. And we don't overlap whatsoever.
That's right. That's right. We, and it's necessary to be like that. I remember when the bill was going through, there was discussion about, do we merge this in with the Gaming Commission? But it's important that it works this way, because when we are a regulator, the casinos run their business and we regulate them. We make sure taxes are paid, and we have an important role. But at the Lottery Corporation, I mean, you're running the business.
The business, that's right.
You're not regulating someone, you're running it. You're deciding what tickets go out and how to structure the deals for Powerball and all that. So it is a very different structure. So but I'll tell you, I know probably the most common phone call we get or the walk-ins in our office are people bringing their lottery tickets to our office. I'm sorry, you got to go down Lakeland Drive. We have the address right here for you. But it's a very common mistake.
Well, I think we have a good structure. I've always explained to folks that when the lottery was first created, if you've been waiting for a lottery and you're a fan, I guess the bad news is we're the 45th state. The good news is we got 44 others to review to see the best structure. And in fact, that's exactly what happened when the Lottery Corporation was created. And to your point, I've always explained it as the Gaming Commission regulates an industry, and the Lottery Corporation is the industry, so to speak.
Right.
So it's more akin to board governance in a private sector setting.
And it's done very well. I mean, the lottery, it was one thing we watched, is how much is it going to impact gaming, and the two have thrived together. Yeah. It's been really good for the state.
I think what I've observed, Jay, and what I've heard from experts, subject matter experts, far greater than I am or our board members are. We're more concerned about the business aspect of things, the operational aspect, is that it's from a marketing perspective, it's a different player, is the way they describe it. Players that enjoy casino gaming often are different than those who would participate in lottery ticket purchases.
Right.
That's what we've heard. So I guess the commission then, you haven't received, or I'm not sure you could even talk to us about it, any applications for new casinos?
Not currently pending. When I get that application on my desk, it becomes a public record, and we start. I mean, it's still subject to confidentiality, but once we get an application for a new casino, it's usually a matter of time before it goes on an agenda. So they're usually, a developer is very careful. They don't bring it in until they're ready to go. Yeah. So that's why I say I get a lot of meetings. What if we did this? What if we did that? But until they're ready to go and have the money in the bank, that's when it hits my desk. And it's been several years since we've had one of those. And again, I don't think we're a saturated market. Our casinos all work well, very competitive environment. But you have so many markets that are new and that are opening. Alabama's talking about doing it, and so I think a lot of people look at, well, maybe I could be the first one in that market, so I'm going to wait, take a wait and see approach rather than jump in a market that's already got established casinos.
Yeah, so. That makes sense. Yeah. Anything you're looking for from the legislature in this coming session?
That's a good question. Last session we had pretty much two significant gaming bills. Neither one passed, but they came up. One was the mobile sports wagering bill that did pass the House pretty early in the session, and then went to conference and died there. I would imagine that bill is going to come back, or a similar bill. Too. Yeah. Right now, I'm not hearing a lot of talk, but November, December, I'm sure I will. But I thought it was a good bill. There were reasons. I guess it wasn't taken up. If we were to have mobile sports betting, I think that bill did it right. It tethered it to the casinos. After it died, I got a lot of calls. There are a lot of people out there that are ready for it, that want to see it. Louisiana has it. A lot of surrounding states have it. So that one, I believe, will be on the radar. And then the other one had to do with some Gulf Coast site, where casinos can be on the Gulf Coast. We actually approved a site last year that not everyone was happy about. Some felt like the law should be tightened up, a little more restrictive on where they can be. So a bill came up that did just that. Basically said you had to have some more standards in place as to where a casino could be, but it died as well. So whether we'll see that one come back, I don't know. But those two issues, I don't see anything new beyond those. I tell you, the thing I'm watching the most is Alabama. Their bill last year fell one vote short in the Senate to basically approve a lottery, approve sports betting. It was a comprehensive
one package.
Yes. And so I think that's something we need to watch from your seat, from the lottery standpoint, from gaming standpoint. When they get it, there's going to be a day they do it, and we'll lose some market share to them.
There's no doubt. Yeah. When you think about the population they have fairly close to the border that separates the two states, presently both industries pull a lot of Alabama residents, just as we had people going across the border into Louisiana for years.
That's right.
I'll never forget Governor Phil Bryant said, we're not doing that anymore. He was a big proponent, of course, of the lottery, and I think it always anguished him that we had a lot of Mississippians crossing that border, especially when the Powerball and Mega Millions got on up there, and we were losing all that revenue here in Mississippi. Yeah. So is there anything that the commission feels like is needed from the legislature? I mean, I know about these two bills that I think you're right. I think will come up again. Is there anything you guys need from a governance or standards, policies, regulatory perspective?
I don't believe so. When we typically go to the legislature, and they're always, the chairman of both the Senate and the House, they're always very receptive to anything we request. But really, no. I mean, we're very, again, one of the reasons we have so many casinos, we're very business friendly, good tax rate. Anything we need to change, we can usually do from a regulatory perspective, change our regulations to adapt. but we're not overly restrictive. So no, the answer would be no.
Okay.
Other than funding my budget, that's about all I ask for.
Before we go here, are any of the casinos, the existing casinos, hinting about any sort of expansion plans or
not expansion, but updates? Many of them are doing well. The Beau Rivage did a massive update last year. Several others are following suit, room renovations, things like that. And we, of course, have encouraged that because of the tourism driver that we are. So, I think you're going to see mostly just reinvestment in the properties.
A critical element of the state's economy for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Jay, appreciate all the good work you and the commission do regulating the casino industry here in the state of Mississippi. Always good to talk to you. Thanks for coming in.
A pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Folks, we're coming right back in the